Click subscribe to get daily Manchester United content from passionate Reds, only on All for United.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are here after a dramatic finish to the Champions League. Well, I say dramatic, it was a bit poor tonight, but we'll get into the depths of that in a moment. Joined by some great guys tonight. We were supposed to be 6, only got 5. I'll get into the comments. Get your comments in, get your conversations in, get your questions in, and we'll get back to that in a moment. Cam, good to see you, bro. I think this is the first time you've been on, isn't it, mate? And we're pleased to have you on, bro. What were your thoughts overall on that game?
You know what? I thought we started with a bit of intensity, and it was kind of how we started the last game against Palace. And then as the game went on, the energy just decreased, and that was kind of to be expected because, you know, the energy levels of these guys, the fitness levels of these guys to play this type of football is not up to par. But I thought, you know, even the passing, it went downhill, especially in the second half, and you know, young boys had quite a few opportunities to win it.
Yeah, great stuff. It was a little bit laboured. I think obviously these were a lot of players you hadn't seen for a while. You know, thrown into the deep end, first time playing together under a new management, a new system, and obviously it's going to be difficult. And look, this was a game that was always going to be, you know, you can see by the substitutions, you know, Tom Heaton coming on 60 minutes, you only do those when you don't really give a shit about the result, and it's about seeing performances, seeing what the players can do, and just seeing who can shine. Grant, great to see you, buddy. Thanks for coming on again, mate. Good to see you. I just want to apologise to everybody, actually. I might start coughing at any moment. I've been coughing horrendously for the last couple of days, so I might have to mute myself and the boys take over for me. But anyway, Grant, yeah, your overall thoughts on that game, matey?
I'm a bit hit and miss, to be honest. I thought I kind of agree with the last person there. I thought sort of first half an hour, I thought United were okay. Great opening goal for Mason Greenwood, fantastic finish. But I felt the equaliser the young boys scored in the game really took the kind of energy out of the game for Man United. It just seemed like we got very reactive. We sort of allowed young boys to enjoy their time at Old Trafford, and they got extremely nervy in the second half, and it really shouldn't have been. Because I think if United had gone on at half-time, I think it would have been a bit more confidence would have come out of the players. There was a few guys I felt tonight missed chances to really shine and really get themselves into Ralph's plans moving into the season. Certainly the second half of the season, there was a few guys that I felt had great opportunities to maybe resurrect their seasons or certainly play themselves into Ralph's plans short term. And there was a lot of guys that I felt missed their chances tonight. Greenwood aside, I thought there was a lot of sketchy performances throughout, but we did lose the game, which is a big plus, and I think Ralph will have learned a lot from tonight's match.
Just looking at this comment here, that was a stupid act. We could lose the top of the table position. That's not quite true. No matter what the result tomorrow, we will be top of the table, and that's why really, even if we'd lost today and had 0 points, we would have been above on head-to-head against Villarreal, and really that just kind of emphasises the fact that it was about seeing what another team could do. But yeah, thanks very much for that, Grant.
And young boys had to win the game tonight, so they're out. So it's a straight shootout between Atalanta and Villarreal for second spot, which is tomorrow because of the snow in Bergamo.
Absolutely. Kai, great to see you, bro. It's been so long, man. I hope you're doing well. I know obviously you've been doing tricks out where you are at the minute with your sister and all this, that and the other. So but great to see you, and I hope you're well. What did you make of the game tonight, my man?
Yeah, man, thanks. Good to be back. How's it going, lads? I see there's a more handsome panel that's that's come through. But or you thought I was gonna say I'm joking. I'm not, but it's okay. The game was it was all right. I was actually kind of doing like 4 things at the same time while I was watching it. So I mean, I just felt the same way that Ralph probably felt about it. If Juan Mata's on the pitch for 90 minutes, then obviously, you know, there's no real thing. I actually think he was probably trying to test a little bit some of these experienced players to see if they can last the full 90, because honestly, then, you know, he's probably saying, what's the point of having them around? But yeah, I was a little bit disappointed with Donny. He looked a little bit nervous. It was a bit weird seeing him make some loose passes, which he normally doesn't make. But yeah, generally, I don't think this is a game to have a massive opinion about. So that's just how I feel. But it was all right. It was good to see the young lads as well. I just think maybe they should have come on slightly sooner. It was great to see what's his name, Zidane Iqbal as well. Few nice touches in there as well.
Yes.
And that ball he played for Wan-Bissaka, actually, I was laughing because I was thinking to myself, actually, another right back would have been running already because he was caught napping. He didn't believe that this kid is going to play that kind of pass because it was kind of like a ballsy pass. So, otherwise, it was a good game. Good game.
Yeah, good points well made there, mate. Just a couple of people in the comments here. Denzel agrees with you, or agrees with everybody so far. Ralph definitely just wanted to get a feel for all the players in the team, so I'm not too worried. Super Nick, haven't seen your face before. Wow, your image and name, good to have you on. I feel as though Ralph was giving certain players a chance before January. Another good point there. Jacob, familiar face, good to see you, buddy. All right, guys, really poor from both teams, but two decent goals. They were fantastic goals, and we'll get into that in a moment. Matic, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Lingard, and Van der Beek were really poor. I don't necessarily agree with all those. We'll get to that in a moment. I thought maybe two of those were poor, but at least one of those was okay for most of the game, I feel. Keno. Big stuff going on the last few days, mate, and it's wonderful to have you on your first All for United show back, at least. I hope you're well, mate, and give me your thoughts on the game, bro.
Look, I think it was a game where you're looking at it. There's a lot of players there who haven't had much match sharpness. A lot of young players coming into the team. There was never going to be like a coordinated performance over 90 minutes, and look, I think we did see that over 90 minutes. Like, a lot of players who weren't match sharp, their first touch wasn't there. And you have to say, like, if you look at a lot of these players, they never played this system probably before. And they were trying to find their feet over 90 minutes. So I was never expecting just swashbuckling football over 90 minutes. I was expecting a lot of players to kind of find their feet. And I think Mata, for probably about maybe 60 minutes of the game, was good. He looked after possession well. His passes were very good. He was being intelligent, but you can tell his legs are gone, because I'd never seen Mata play in a two midfield ever in my life. So, like, obviously seeing him there tonight, he done quite well there. I think if you look at maybe other players such as Short Thierry coming off the bench, I thought he looked bright. His intelligence in terms of his movement on and off the ball was quite good. Greenwood again just showing his overall intelligence as a striker, being in the right place at the right time, and another world class finish. But Ralph would have learned a lot tonight in terms of what young players he can maybe look at in the future, and maybe some of the fringe players who we knew under Solskjaer, didn't have a future. I think that some of them maybe are cemented tonight.
I'm muted. Thanks, boys. You could have shouted at me, but this means nothing. This means nothing. I thought you were disinterested in what he was saying. Anyway, Eamon makes a good point here. Well, a point here. Lingard looked completely disinterested. Think his head is at West Ham. Listen, I don't think that's the case at all. It's been out for a while now. He's not signing a new contract. Whether his head has been elsewhere or particularly West Ham, I don't think it's the case. I think it was just an off day today. We've seen Lingard come on several occasions this season, actually perform very, very well. And to be honest with you, at the beginning of the game, I thought he did play well. I think he was thriving on that high press, big pressure, and it just sort of petered off for everybody in the end, didn't it? So, Cam, I'm going to come back to you, mate. Mason, go on, Kai.
Can I just say something about Lingard real quick? Because I feel like his position in the team, especially under Ralph, is a little bit under threat because his technical ability to play those kind of vertical passes is so poor. It's the one thing which he's really poor at. So, yes, he presses, but what happens after that is there's a touch which is always just slightly too loose, passes either too heavy. And the thing is, with the way that we would want to play, we have to make those moments count that we are in transition. It can't always be almost. And Lingard is a little bit like that. His whole career is a little bit like almost. But if Lingard is just, if he doesn't have to make another decision when he's at goal, then it's a goal. When the last thing which he has to do is just finish, then it's, he's probably got a better chance there. But I just feel like even if he plays in that, the two, one of the two attacking midfield positions in that box formation, just to combine, I think that's the biggest difference with him and Sancho, for example, because Sancho knows how to play. He can play a accurate pass, through the gap, through the space. So I don't know. I just don't find Lingard fits into this thing except pressing.
So do you think it's his split decision making? You're saying that when he gets hold of the ball, if he has to go in, cut inside, and have a shot, 9 times out of 10 he'll get something on target. But if he has to do anything else with it, he struggles.
Exactly. Yeah. There's just that one step which he makes is just like either too late, the pass is too heavy, it's the wrong option, or he used to do this one little first touch where he's not even looking at the ball, flick over the side. He's not doing that anymore. He's grown. So that's one thing about him. But I just feel like there's just something that's not connecting with him, and it has to be technically better in there. If you have to compare Bruno and compare Sancho and compare the players that can play in that position, just the level is just way too low, even to bring him on as a sub in a big game, except energy and pressing, which is an issue for me, at least. I don't know.
It could be an issue, absolutely. Just a comment here, Vipal Vij. I'm sorry if I haven't pronounced your name right. I am trying my best. Lovely to see so many debuts. We've got a debut on here tonight, Cam, next to me. So debuts all around tonight. Ahmad's instinct to create a goal instead of taking low quality shot is refreshing. Lingard was poor. Mata rolled back the years, which he did actually. I thought he was excellent tonight, Mata, with some of those passes. And Key mentioned it earlier. Not something you would expect from Mata, being in the sort of 6-8 role tonight. You normally see him for Chelsea sort of in that sort of front three on the right hand side, left hand side, or at least further forward in more of a number 10 role. But I think he was exceptional today. I think he surprised everyone playing that sort of 6-8 role in the middle of the park. We didn't expect it, and I thought he was excellent. Cam, coming to you next, buddy. Greenwood's goal was sensational today. If you can take, as someone said earlier, alluded to earlier, the goals were exceptional, and Greenwood's certainly was, and it was really good to see that he has that in his locker. We know that. We know that he's going to potentially be a world-class player, but I feel that he's going to really thrive under Rangnick, and I think that we've seen that today, and that goal was exceptional, wasn't it?
Yeah, Mason Greenwood. First of all, the ball is actually behind him when he goes to, do the overhead kick. So the fact that he finishes it with so cleanly, the strike was so clean, even though the ball was behind him, he made it look easy, even though it was a lot more difficult than it looked. It was still a good ball by Luke Shaw, but we know Mason Greenwood to be an absolutely clinical striker. When he's in those positions, you don't expect nothing else but a goal, and he provided that today, and it was a crucial goal in terms of how the game went. Even though there wasn't much meaning to the game, it still gave us a result. It gave us the point that we needed to kind of finish the group on somewhat of a high. I don't know, but yeah, it was a good finish in the end of the day, and he just showed his class again. I think under Ralph Rangnick's system, he's going to thrive a lot because he will press, he will work hard for the team. And like I said, you put him in his positions and he will finish.
Yeah, absolutely. Before I move on to you, Grant, I just want to say thanks to everyone tuning in tonight. Get your likes in. It's important to us. Get subscribing and get some more questions in because we'd love to answer them. But yeah, more than anything, like the video. We really appreciate that. Grant, talking about Greenwood, actually, you're absolutely right, Cam, that you give him. He's one of the most clinical players at the club. There's absolutely no disparity in that. We know that. However, the commentators alluded to it a little bit tonight, and I felt this, is that whenever he gets the ball within and around the box, he will always do that one thing, and that's cut inside or go on the outside and try and drill it in, or at least at goal. Do you think that could be a bit of a negative for him? He needs to try and learn to have a bit more of a decision to maybe pass the ball to someone else?
I don't think necessarily that is the case. You need guys who are going to put the ball in the back of the net ultimately, and Greenwood's shown on numerous occasions already that he's very clinical when he takes his chances. And I've seen so often, particularly this season, but certainly last season as well, that he's certainly got quality in front of goal. I mean, the quality of that goal tonight was absolutely red hot. It was a fantastic finish.
Sensational.
Really, really good goal. I mean,
if that was Ronaldo,
exactly.
Ronaldo, Messi, anybody else, we'd be talking about it all day, right?
I mean, we've seen some great Manchester United goals over the years. That is up there, but it probably won't be talked about because it was, in inverted commas, a meaningless game for Manchester United in the Champions League. Now, I don't agree that the game was meaningless tonight. The game was a good exercise, I feel, to see the depth in this Manchester United squad. It was also an opportunity, I think, to see how some of the youngsters could really blend in to Ranić's system of this high press, this high quality press, and to try and get forward quicker, create chances. We've talked a lot about Sancho. He didn't play tonight. I think he'll be a big player in this team. I think Greenwood could be a massive player in this team. I think it was an opportunity tonight for players like Dallo and not Diallo. Diallo's the boy I'm talking about, and Elanga as well to really try and get themselves into the frame. Did both of them take their chance? I think the jury's out. I think both had moments, but that was about it for me. But go back to Greenwood to finish things up. Brilliant goal scorer. I think let the guy flourish because why complicate things? He's probably one of our most natural strikers for many, many years.
And another thing there as well, just on Mason, you look at the way Marcus Rashford has kind of struggled in these last kind of 2-3 weeks, and the fact we've kind of reverted to a 4-2-2-2 system, we may see Greenwood now play as a striker alongside Cristiano because you have the two attacking midfielders in Bruno and Sancho, and then you have McTominay and Fred who are kind of holding the fort in midfield in that system. I think Mason, we could maybe see him come in now because with this system, he can press, he will press forward, but also he has that clinical nature to be not just Ronaldo, just the only focal point. Greenwood can be that as well. And also, like, if you talk about decision making, you have Ronaldo and Edison Cavani there who he can be educated from in these next 12 months. So, look, we are going to nurture him to be our number one, number 9 in these next 2-3 years. I think that natural progression is there. But in this Rangnick system where we can play the two strikers, I think Mason will maybe displace Marcus in these next couple of weeks.
I completely agree with that, Keane. 100%.
Yeah, me too. Good points, well made, mate. Just wanted to mention, I appreciate it only had 60-odd minutes, but Dean Henderson tonight, this is his first game back since injury, and obviously he can't get in the place of the team with how David De Gea is performing at the moment, but I felt that he was really trying to make a mark, particularly in the first 30 minutes. And what I mean by that is obviously German football, German philosophy, gegenpress, like a sweeper keeper. And we saw him come off his line, making the right calls and going for that. But I thought he was pretty good today, what we expected really, and he was never going to get near that goal. But Kai, give me your thoughts on Henderson today in particular.
Can I just say something about Mason real quick, just before I go for Hendo, since he's the hot topic. I just wanted to say, like all the lads have said about that finish, it was a great finish. But the thing that's crazy about it is most of Mason's finishes are so good that they are what Lewandowski or what Benzema would be putting in on a week-by-week basis. And his potential is crazy because I can't even imagine what kind of a striker he's going to be. He just seems like he's Mason. He just seems like this is just this kid who's going to score bags of goals. But I don't know if you guys can imagine what kind of center forward he would be when he's 29, for example.
I think he could be.
I just don't know. Yeah, he just seems like
Andy Cole at his best.
Sorry, like?
He reminds me of Andy Cole at his best right now.
Yeah, but he's got a little bit more of that technique, as well. So it's gonna be crazy to see what happens to him when he gets to his peak, basically. But he's already doing peak things. He's finishing like a peak striker. So I just think it's obviously his all-round game that's obviously he's gonna have to obviously improve, but his finishing is already something. It's not tap-ins. But yeah, on Dean Henderson, I was very happy because he did things which I appreciated, such as sweeping as a keeper. I think with Matic at the back and with Bailly and his suspect positioning sometimes and timing, I think it's crucial that Henderson was always, on call to come and sweep it. So I think he did that quite well. And I also noticed that I think Henderson is slightly more no nonsense than De Gea. Henderson clears the ball away really far. I think he's got a really strong foot. He kicks really, quite far. De Gea a lot of the times kind of shanks his clearances, or they kind of go straight up and then they kind of are in the air somewhere. So I think he did quite well there. I think in the first 30 minutes he came and cleared about 2 or 3 really quickly off his line, and he just seems a little bit more commanding in terms of he just looks a little old school. I think that's what I'm trying to say. He looks no too many crazy things about him, as compared to De Gea, which sometimes feels like he's spectacular, but at the exact same time he's gonna pull out a clanger and look like he's weak. So I think he had a solid game, but he'll have more tests, obviously.
He certainly will. Let's see if he gets any more opportunities as the season go on. Leash Sparkle, I think I just had a discussion with you on Twitter very briefly, and I just wanted to say that it was taken out of context a little bit. We were praising Mata and how well he's done this game, but I think the point was that we were making was, this was a game of it had very little importance, and it was about seeing what the players could do. And listen, you don't ever see Mata play 90 minutes. Very, very rarely now. We barely see him get any minutes. And I think that the fact that he played 90 kind of just emphasised that this game really didn't have a lot of importance. But that's no slate on Mata at all. We thought he was excellent tonight. So I just wanted to clear that up. But thanks for getting your comments in and get some more in. We'll try and answer them the best we can. Matic, I think, was a big surprise tonight playing at centre-back. And I think he was lucky on a few occasions, probably with the fact that Bailly has a little bit more pace. Bailly was an absolute machine tonight. He was doing cartwheels and all sorts. I don't know if you saw, but it did make me chuckle. Rash Bailly as usual. But yeah, Cam, how do you feel the defence did tonight? I mean, it was a very, other than the wing-backs and Bailly, a little bit of a makeshift, obviously, especially having a midfielder in amongst the ranks. But how did you feel that they did tonight? Do you think they were okay? I mean, that goal, there was a couple of mistakes before it, should have dealt with it better, but it was a bit of a worldie, that as well.
Yeah, I think the two centre-backs, to start with them, Bailly obviously was brilliant today. Matic, he had a few nervy moments where kind of let the ball back. There was one time when he let the ball bounce and tried to clear it and miskicked it completely. I think those were really only a couple of mistakes in the game, and he did make a few good challenges earlier on in the game. And obviously, Bailly did make him look a little better by recovering those mistakes. But I thought the centre-backs as a whole, they did a decent job. The wing-backs, I thought Wan-Bissaka didn't have his greatest game. He started a bit sloppy in terms of his passing. It looked nervous, really. And I feel like that's it could be maybe some pressure setting on, or maybe I'm just overthinking things and he just had a bad performance. Luke Shaw, he got his assist and it was a decent cross there. And defensively, he was solid throughout the game. So I would say overall, the defense played well. Like I said, the goal was a mistake, like you said. So there was nothing really much they could have done except for maybe Matic clearing his lines and not playing it to Donny, maybe analysing the press when it was coming.
Yeah, good points well made. Thank you very much, Cam. Leash, just going to read this out again. Hi, yes, that's me. I want to see Mata play 90 minutes. I think he was one of our better players tonight. Thanks for clearing up. No problem at all. And obviously, we'd love to see you come back. So thanks for tuning in. Some comments that have been made. Keen's just sent me the baller. So Man United in the next round can draw PSG, Atletico, Sporting, Inter, Benfica or Salzburg. Now I'm going to do a quick fire to each and every one of you, very quickly, 30 seconds. Who would you want? I think I know all your answers, but who would you want to see out of those 8, and why? PSG, Atletico, Sporting, Inter, Benfica, or Salzburg?
I'll
And
go
I'll
first.
go to you, Cam, first.
You
Oh,
know
go on,
what? You know, I'm feeling kind of crazy, and for some reason, I feel like I would go with PSG. You know, PSG, because I feel like it would be a good test for the team. I feel like we can exploit some of PSG's weaknesses. I feel like defensively they can be got at. You know, they're forwards. They don't work hard defensively, and of course they can be devastating if they catch you on a counter attack. But they can be got at, and they do have weaknesses going back defensively. I just feel like, you know, for Manchester United, we are with Ralph Ragnick in this stage where we need to be tested. We need to be tested by the best of the best. We need to get better and learn as a team. So why not go against the best?
You're absolutely right, and you know what? We do talk about this on occasions. You look back at '99, for example, probably a bit too long ago for most here, but we had to play some really tough teams to get through all of those. And that's what it's all about. You want to sort of come up against the best. You want to test yourself. I just want everyone to get there. I've put in the comment there: PSG, Atletico, Sporting, Inter, Benfica, or Salzburg. I want all of you to, in the comments, to give me who you want to play in the next round and a reason why as well. That'd be great. But yeah, PSG for you. That's a good one. Grant, for you, bro.
I'm really struggling with this because I'm not sure whether I want to play a team where we can, go at them right from the start, or we sit and play on the counter. I very nearly picked Atletico Madrid because I don't think Madrid are as good as they have been 2 or 3 years ago. They had a great win in Porto last night, but I think in that group with Liverpool and AC Milan, I think they have been very average. They've not had a particularly good season in La Liga either so far. So maybe one I wouldn't be too worried about now compared to a couple of years ago. But maybe Salzburg as well. That would be the two I'd probably be highlighting. But Paris, it's probably going to happen, isn't it?
You never know. Probably.
Kai, yours, bro.
Let me just say I don't want Inter or anything to do with them at all. Not even a little bit. Not even a little. Not even. However, I was gonna say PSG. I was actually thinking, yeah, that would be actually great. But then it clicked that Verratti might be fit. And I don't want anything to do with Verratti PSG. So I think probably Salzburg is probably the nicest one. I don't think we also want anything to do with the Portuguese clubs either.
There's no nice games in the Champions League.
But no Portuguese teams either. So I think Salzburg is all right.
And Keane, how about yours?
Look, McFred are after beating Verratti twice. So, look, I'm going to put it this way. Give us PSG, let Ronaldo cement his GOAT status. And, let me just banter the rest of football Twitter then once we knock him out of the Champions League again. But on a side note, Sporting would be a nice one. Just see Ronaldo and Bruno go back there. I think that'd be great to see. But other than that, look, give us PSG. Messi's having a stinker in France at the minute. Ronaldo is still pulling up trees in England. Why not? Let's knock him out again. Let McFred be Verratti again. Let's go.
Yeah, good points. I think for me, PSG, very good one. I'd love to see a little bit of the battle between Ronaldo and Messi. I mean, Messi's been pretty poor this season, and Ronaldo's got us out of a lot of holes. So it would be nice for him to cement that GOAT status once.
They'll probably give us Inter though, Mark.
Say that again, mate.
They'll probably give us Inter though.
Yeah,
That's
probably.
not
And you don't want
it'll
Inter,
be
do
an
you?
absolute nightmare. And it'll be just terrible. Oh, I can't.
We'll have to wait. When's the draw? Is it Friday or Monday? Monday, isn't it?
Monday. Yeah, Monday.
Yeah, Monday.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be looking closely at that. We'll try and get a stream out on Monday as the draw is being announced. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I wouldn't mind supporting either. I think that would be a nice little sentiment for Bruno Ronaldo. Very good points there. And Salzburg, yeah, I don't think there's going to be an easy game really. And to be honest, yeah, looking at all of them, I wouldn't be too disheartened about any, including Inter. Sorry, Kai. That's just what I know they're doing well this season.
You
You're
can't
probably
trust
right.
any team that has defenders that like punch the air at basically nothing at a slide tackle. Those are the teams you got to be worried about because they will be as shithousery as it could be to endless. And I don't think we're ready for that mentally. That's all I'm saying. So, you know, when we're ready for the fight, maybe, but I just don't think that, you know, both technically and tactically we're as far as they are. I mean, they were Serie A champions, so I mean, that's really it.
But at the same time, it's like, you know, you mentioned that not being ready, but it's like at this stage of the Champions League, like all the teams left over, they have a chance, you know. So it's like there's no time better than now. You need to be ready in the knockout stages.
What I will say about PSG is all the pressure is on them and Pochettino, because if they don't win the Champions League, their season is finished. That is what they are going for.
Yeah.
United would be underdogs.
Do you think that could be the undoing of them? Do you think that could be the undoing of them with that much pressure?
Maybe.
Yeah. But I think
he made a great point on that Ronaldo Messi battle. You know, it's kind of written, and you know, it could happen.
Because I think if you look at the midfield matchings as well, that's also the thing is that's why I don't say I want Inter, because they literally have a stronger midfield in any shape that they play. And that would be the toughest game that, you know, even with the pressing and everything, I think Brozovic and Barella and all of them can do equally as good of a job. And they're also very technical. And I just don't think McFred mentally are ready to be pressed by that kind of intensity. That's just it's just a nightmare that I have right now. I just see them punching the air right now, and it's just an Edin Dzeko winner. Come on, guys. You can see this happening.
No, Edison Cavani winner. That's the right one.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Good point Mia made that we all missed. Salzburg would be emotional for Ralph. Absolutely, I forgot that he was there for a moment. Thanks for reminding me. Some comments made by Ralph actually a moment ago. Thanks to these keen. We should have been 2 or not 3-0 up. We had 2 great opportunities from Ahmad and one Mata. We were a bit sloppy in these situations. We had a third one from Alanga in the second half, which I think he missed. He walked out a little bit late, didn't he? And missed that one entirely. But that was his post-match comments. Good to see. And I think Rio has made a comment as well about Mason Greenwood. Former Manchester United defender Rio Ferdinand BT Sport. Mason Greenwood's movement for the goal is deft and the finish, bang. His style is much like Robin van Persie. He's elusive, doesn't get pinned by a defender. He knows how to find space. Absolutely spot on. He's just, I mean, you've seen Rio on numerous occasions. Very, very excited by him. Absolutely loves him. And he's not wrong. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a doubt for the Man United game at Norwich on Saturday. The defender went off right at the end of the game. Well, we saw him go off twice, didn't we? Went down for a period of time, was getting seen to, and then right at the end, final whistle went into the advertising boards. And obviously, we hope that he gets the needed rest and hope he's fit enough as soon as possible. But with that in mind, Cam, I don't think, to be honest with how Dalot's performed in the last 2 games, I don't think there's really, and this is no disrespect to Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but I don't think there's any concern there for the right back position, is there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but I feel like, especially this game and a few of the games leading up to Dalot coming into the team, he has been off it. I think his defensive positioning has been a problem going forward. We all know the problems with that. Dalot, we know he's a lot better going forward. He's not afraid to get there and put a cross in. And defensively, he's looked a lot better than he has in recent games, or what I say recent performances, because up until the point of him coming back into the team, he didn't really have a chance and looked like he was going to leave in January. But I think Dalot definitely has cemented that right back spot for now. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, he's gonna have opportunities. I hope to really push Dalot and get the best out of each other almost. But for now, Dallow's got that spot on lock, and Wan-Bissaka's kind of gonna have to work on him going forward defensively as well, because I think one-on-one, brilliant defender, but his positioning at times can let himself down.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. His defensive positioning is poor at times. We've seen that he sort of comes in too close to Lindelof, and that is his downfall. But one-on-one defending, slide tackles and the rest, he's phenomenal. I think that Aaron Wan-Bissaka has just become a little bit complacent. This new system obviously is going to allow Dalot to really sort of thrive, and I think we've seen that. But that's exactly what we want. We want to see that competition. You saw that with Telles and Shaw. Shaw's obviously gone downhill a little bit recently, but hopefully it will just instill that little bit of get-go to be able to perform and go from there, really. But yeah, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Grant, tonight, what did you make of his performance?
Erratic is the word I'd use. And I find Wan-Bissaka quite frustrating to watch, to be honest with you. I see games in him where I think he is very decent, very solid defensively. I think sometimes he can be a bit braver when he gets forward. There's a lot of times where he goes forward where you think he's going to do something really nice, really exciting, and then he kind of delays the option and he either loses possession or he puts in a poor cross and it's taken by the goalkeeper and goes out for a goal kick. I thought tonight he was very up and down. I think there was moments where he showed that he has got good defensive attributes, but they're not consistent enough. And I think that is my big problem with Wan-Bissaka, his consistency. For the amount of money that Manchester United have bought Wan-Bissaka for, he has that naivety in his game. And we saw it in the reverse fixture, didn't we, against Young Boys when he was sent off out there in Switzerland. And that's something that worries me a lot. I do feel that there is that naivety about him. He's still very young, of course he is, but this is why he's not being selected for the England national team as well, don't forget. So that's obviously something that needs to be addressed as well. But I have question marks very much on AWB. I want him to do well. I want him to succeed. I want him to be a really good right back, but he's just rather erratic for me.
Yeah, totally agree with you. Jarvis agreeing with you too. Aaron Wan-Bissaka looked lost tonight. He's drained for every drop of confidence. I think that's absolutely right. I think he is lacking a huge amount of confidence at the moment. It was only 6 months, a year ago when we were applauding how good he is. And I know there's questions about him going forward, but, you don't lose that talent overnight. And that applies to Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw too. And hopefully he can regain that confidence back. Another one, agree with Grant. There were a few moments where he could hit an early cross but hesitated. Spot on. There were also moments where his position was just all over the place.
Thanks,
and Jarvis, I hope Ralph can turn him around, as to why I think he's got the makings of being a fantastic defender. He needs to work on his forward ability and his defensive position, as Cam mentioned. But he doesn't lose talent overnight. I think he's a great player, and I really hope Ralph does get the most out of him. Kai, Luke Shaw returned tonight. Obviously a couple of weeks out now. Obviously with the rib a few weeks ago. And what did you make of his performance tonight?
Firstly, Mark, do you know what I'm going to start doing now?
Go on.
I am going to stop preparing myself to respond to the first question when you start with Cam, because you wrap it up just before you get to me, and then I'm like, wow, why did I even think of this?
Do you know what I'm going to start doing then? Every time I ask someone a question, I'll come to you finally, Kai. Kai, any last thoughts?
Well, not every time, you say. But your question was about Luke Shaw. But I'll just say something about Wan-Bissaka real quick.
You go, mate. Yeah, you go.
I think it applies to everybody or a lot of players in the team. But I just get a sense that because United have had this thing where it's been pressure ever since Sir Alex Ferguson left, we haven't really modernized in terms of how we coach the players. If you think of players like Paul Pogba, players like Eric Bailly, players like even now with Wan-Bissaka, they all arrived very young. and none of them have actually been coached to play like they should play in a modern team. That, you know, and then we can see the difference when we see Liverpool and we see teams coached by Pep and we see all these modern managers, and you see how far off all our players are. And to be honest, the last 2-3 years, Wan-Bissaka was bought for 50 million and it was pressure. So essentially every game was just, hey, we're just going to play and we're all just trying to win over here. There isn't any progression in terms of maybe football IQ that you see with these players. They make the same kind of mistakes. And I'm saying, where is the video analyst that's saying there's video every week of you doing the same clanger? Every week you're doing the same thing. And it's like Victor Lindelof, you're getting pushed over every single week. Can we work on your positioning? Can we work on how you run? Can we just work on everyone's body posture and our mentalities? I think that's been missing so much. And now you see, you know, United clamoring for a sports psychologist and a this and a that, because he sees that the players are too volatile in their performances. You know, one moment great, one moment not. So it's like there's only muscle memory for the stuff they know and not the stuff they actually need for the modern game. And that's really, and I know we always say Paul Pogba this, but think about it. He arrived at 22, 23 years old, and literally at 80 million, he was meant to be the guy that has everything. Now, no matter what anyone's expectations are, a player has to be coached to fit whatever has to be fitted into. And there's never been anything to fit into. Mourinho was just win trophies. You've got, no matter what, the shape has to be the shape. Martial plays left back, he plays left back. And you're looking and you're like, what? You can't play left back. You can't win the ball so deep in your own half. It makes no sense in this football. But we kept on doing it, you know. And then with Ole, it was like, you can't play two central defensive midfielders and leave them alone. We kept on doing it. And now you see the coaching is now saying, okay, fine, guys, keep the shape, keep the control, positioning over here. And then we can now see the players lacking the actual skill to play in this type of game, and that actually need the coaching. Anyways, that's my long thing about Wan-Bissaka and the rest of the team, and the reason why they haven't improved. Just like Bailly as well, same mistakes. It's weird. Anyways, Luke Shaw, he was all right, but again, he's a little bit not Luke Shaw of last season. He's got no energy for me. He's still a little bit in his shell, and I think when he's in his shell, he struggles a little bit. So I think he needs to. I think when he gets fitter, he might, you know, start expanding. But I think he was all right defensively, because that Elia guy was quite quiet, I think, at some point. And then when the change was made, we were getting torn apart on the right hand side for days when Mengi came on. So I think that was a little bit of concern on the left hand side. But otherwise, Luke Shaw had a good game for his first game back after a while.
I thought he was okay too, and considering he's just come back from an injury, you know, need a few more minutes. Obviously, a bit of game time, a bit of consistency. I think he was pretty good tonight. Jarvis, in complete agreement with you, unequivocal agreement with you. Yes, Kai, totally agree. They show no progression tactically and mentally, and this is the thing, isn't it? Listen, it's been a week, 3 or 4 training sessions, and we are starting to see a difference. And this was a difference as well from a pressing perspective with the second team, totally second team. Connor makes a good point. It's crazy. Greenwood was one of the experienced out there tonight. How are those youngsters going to sleep tonight? Literally living out most kids' dream. Absolutely spot on. And that I was going to ask you that next, Keen. Actually, it brings me on to my next point. You saw 2 debuts, Zidane and Charlie Savage. And that must have been incredible for them today. It was really nice to see and hear Robbie Savage obviously getting quite rightly emotional about that, and it was lovely. And I mean, what was going through their heads? What a dream debut for them in the Champions League. Bearing in mind only a few minutes, but what a wonderful thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely beautiful to see. And if anyone who follows the under-23s will know that Zidane Iqbal and Charlie Savage are 2 great players in their under-23 setup. Obviously, like the short hearing Hannibal, who obviously is out in international duty, though with Tunisia, couldn't be there tonight. But imagine like if all I was hoping for when Savage came on was he'd score, because imagine Robbie Savage's reaction. It would have been just off the scale. It would have been just absolutely nuts. But look, I think not just the two lads coming on, but Mengi, Shortiri, players like that, even Tom Heaton as well. Like I know, he's been a long kind of standing person at the club, has been at the club for 2 different spells. And it was
Another
his
debut at
tonight
the
as well.
other end of the age spectrum, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And just one thing I loved about was Manchester United playing youth, apart from Heaton, obviously, but Manchester United playing youth and showing why the Cliff is still producing good young players, and they are doing it. And one of the things I just like to credit is the previous manager, rebooted the youth system, because under Mourinho it got torn asunder in terms of the academy and the structure of it. And then when Ollie came in, the likes of Neil Wood, we're in there. Kieran McKenna was obviously part of the academy setup as well before he came into the senior setup. The restructuring our academy has been absolutely fantastic, and to kind of see that then, I suppose, be on show tonight at Old Trafford, seeing all these young players play a Champions League game, absolutely fantastic to see. And look, let's see what happens with these young lads. They've been very good in the underage groups. Let's see if they can get more minutes throughout the season at certain different times, because look, this Christmas fixture list now coming up is very congested fixture list. There is going to be a lot of games. We might pick up a couple of injuries. You think about it, like we're going into a new system. This team has never pressed in these 3 years. They've never been in a kind of high press system. We are going to pick up maybe 1 or 2 muscle injuries, and maybe some of these young players may have to, get some game time over this Christmas period. And if they do, let's see what they're made of, because the Cliff has produced great players, and look, long may that continue.
Yeah, absolutely. Good points, well made. And this, you're absolutely right about Ollie. He did change everything from that perspective. Did a lot behind the scenes, and yeah, it was completely shattered when Mourinho was there. And it's great that we have the opportunity now to bring in these players. And you know what? Ralph brought that average age of Leipzig from 29 to 24. Okay, so whilst on tonight it's under different circumstances, you're seeing a lot of players because he wants to utilise the team and see a lot more on what they can provide and get some minutes. I don't think it's going to happen more often than we're ready for, and he'll know what he's doing. And you've all mentioned about the coaching. It's this is the one man now that's come in that is going to be able to coach this side, is going to bring out the best of Mason Greenwood, is going to probably develop the game of Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Shortiri, Ahmad, and it's really good to see. And it's we've got a sensational youth setup, and I do want to see more of them. We can. The only reason why we get so excited about Greenwood these days, he was there, remember, only 2 years ago, and now he's one of the first team names on the team sheet. But they have to be given that opportunity, and it was good to see tonight, and I hope that happens far more often. Speaking about Greenwood one more time, Cam, he's got to have a bit of a. He's probably said to Ralph, "Look, you got to play me," because I thought he was excellent tonight, and I think he would be a good partner for someone like Ronaldo. But could you see him starting potentially this weekend alongside Ronaldo?
I think he definitely deserves a spot after that goal he scored. He definitely has the talent. We know he can play as a striker, and I think he'll be a good partner for Ronaldo. The thing is, earlier on when he was playing, there was this issue that people were speaking about on social media with Greenwood not passing to Ronaldo, but I feel like that was more so with Greenwood's shoot first mentality rather than him not trying to pass it over to him. So I don't think that's an issue, and I think they'll work fine. Greenwood will make runs over the top, and especially tonight, that pass was on. We saw Mata play it. Lingard was running beyond the defense. Greenwood, even Luke Shaw did it a couple times. So, the over-the-top pass, especially in this system, is always on. And then Ronaldo, he'll be in the right position at the right time to receive the ball in the box. So I think those two would make a very good partnership.
Yeah, agreed. Just some more comments that have come through. Thank you, Grant, for these. What was a little bit annoying was we gave the ball away and played too many balls into the first line of their area. We just see that quite often tonight. Whenever we played the ball into the second or third line, we were always dangerous. I told them that before the game, but they still played into that first line. And that was comments by Ragnick. Just some comments from some of the subscribers here. Update by Ragnick: 2 knocks, 1 on the wrist and his knee, treated in the locker room. Positive he can train the day after tomorrow and be part of the team against Norwich. I think, with a couple of days left with 2 knocks, you may see him in the squad, but you probably won't see him start. But that's good to know, at least. The Savage debut was a lovely moment with his dad commentating as well. But the Zidane Iqbal substitution is an absolute game changer. Properly provides hope for the whole South Asian community. Yeah, big moment. I think we were talking about this in WhatsApp today. From a South Asian perspective, no player has got into the United team, at least in the Champions League or a Premier League club, and that was really fantastic to see. So hopefully he kicks on from here. He looks like a real player in the under-19s, isn't it? A sensational player. And I really hope he kicks on for that, and I hope he enjoyed his debut, at least. Dylan joined in. Key needs a trim. Doesn't trust the Claire Barbers. Never mind. Anyway.
Leave it
Sorry,
out. Leave it
Kino.
out, man. Leave it out.
Yeah, just want to say thanks very much tonight. Thanks for tuning in. If you liked seeing what we had to say, the discussion going on, get a like on the video and make sure you subscribe. Thanks to everyone for joining tonight. I am going to have to cut it short tonight because I'm about to cough and splutter for another hour or so. I can feel it tickling and I'm not ready for that on the show. But listen, it was great to catch up with you all. Thanks, Kai, for coming back, bro. Really great to see you. Keane, great to see you on, bro. And obviously big things to come from this man. Grant, lovely to have you back, and great debut, Cam. Really great to see you on. Thanks to everyone in the comments. And make sure you come back next time. But it was really good to see you all. So we'll see you. I think we've got a preview tomorrow. We've got Timeline Talk on Friday. And then we've got the review show hosted again by yours truly. Hopefully with a positive win. And then I think we've got Devil's Advocate, haven't we, on Sunday? A new show that's coming from another podcast.
King's Channel. Uncut Sunday and then Devil's Advocate the Sunday after.
Sunday after. Okay.
Yeah.
Of course it is. You're absolutely right. Thanks, mate. This is why we got 2 heads now, so we can make sure we get the right information out. But anyway, thanks very much, guys. Really good to see you all, and we'll see you next time.